Okay, so WrestleMania 15. Pretty much the height of the Attitude Era. WrestleMania 15, outside of the main event, a surprise appearance by Shawn Michaels and Triple H's heel turn. This one was a pretty big one of the biggest disappointments, I would say. The Attitude Era was great, no doubt about it, but a lot of wrestling entertainment here it seems to be non-existent. I guess it can start out with Michael Cole. I can't really stand with Michael Cole as an announcer. I was never too fond of him, a mediocre announcer, so I'm happy that JR got to announce the main event. I will say that. WrestleMania 15 is memorable, though, because Stone Cold and The Rock, two of my favorite wrestlers back in the day, um, laid it all on the line, and they had one hell of a main event. Seeing them put one of the greatest WrestleMania brawling clinics in WrestleMania history was absolutely fabulous. But we'll talk about that just a little bit. So let's get right down to it. Okay, the first match on the card was a triple threat hardcore championship match featuring Hardcore Holly, Al Snow, and Billy Gunn. Badass Billy Gunn. Um, Big pop for Billy Gunn. A lot of surprisingly, there was a lot of heat. Nice heat for Bob Holly. That was pretty awesome. And mixed reaction for Al Snow. Actually, it's a pretty big pop because they were in Philly, and Al Snow's a ECW original. So there you go. This is your typical hardcore title match. I mean, they're pretty much. It was airing at um, this was airing a lot during these days, these hardcore title matches. It's pretty unexciting with only a couple of memorable spots. Um, Hardcore Holly wins by taking advantage of Billy Gunn's famouser. I will say the spot with the table where they do the arm drag through the table, that was pretty cool, I will say. But other than that, oh, and the scene where they hit someone hits someone over the head with the drink tray, and Jerry Lawler goes all crazy. That's my Gatorade. Whatever. Um, so yeah, that match was average. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best opener, we'll say. Now we get a tag team title match: Owen Hart and JEFFJARRETT Jeff Jarrett defending their tag team championships against D'Lo Brown and Test. Now, I don't know how this came about. Apparently, there was a Sunday Night Heat Battle Royal where it was pretty much like they throw each other over the top rope, and the last two men would fight for the tag titles, something like that. I don't know. Pretty big pop for Deborah, I will say, who was the manager of Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, and yeah, pretty big. But this match was pretty lackluster to say the very least, and very too short to make any real impact. Um, so, yeah, in all honesty, that's just the way it is. The tag team champions retain the titles by a roll up. Now we get to quite possibly the worst thing I've ever seen in a WrestleMania. That wasn't a actual match itself. Well, it was, but it wasn't a wrestling match. It was a boxing match. It's the Brawl for All finals with Bart Gunn going up against Butterbean. They should have made this go a few rounds if they wanted to make this look, but if they wanted to make this look legit. But they took a knockout in the very first round. which is a damn shame, because Bart was a good fighter, and it kind of irritated me that Butterbean won so easily. Oh, that match sucked. All right, so now we get a referee match, because the winner of this match would referee the main event. We get the Big Show against Mankind. So we got a pretty big pop from Mick Foley, obviously. But this match was pretty boring throughout, with only entertainment. Sadly, the only entertainment coming from Foley taking one of those sick-looking bumps where he takes the choke slam through 2 chairs. So Foley wins by disqualification. After the match, Vince McMahon comes down to the ring, slaps Big Show in the face. Big Show gives him the WMD and turns face as a result. And apparently he gets arrested, so he got arrested for it. So there you go. Now we get to the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way Elimination match featuring Ken Shamrock, Goldust, Val Venus, and the Road Dogg, Jesse James. Ryan Shamrock, the sister of Ken Shamrock, looks hot as hell, to say the very least. Average, just very average stuff, actually. I like Road Dogg, but he wasn't too convincing as the Intercontinental Champion. Maybe as the tag team or hardcore, but not really as the Intercontinental title. Not as Intercontinental Champion. But I really wanted. I remember back in the day, I was a huge Ken Shamrock fan, still am to this day. Really wanted him to win, but he got eliminated second, which is ridiculous. He got eliminated via countout, which is stupid. But yeah, Road Dogg retains. Nothing too special here. Now we got Kane versus Triple H. Now before the match, we get Kane's entrance, and the San Francisco Chicken runs out, attacks Kane, and it's not the San Francisco Chicken. Once again, we get an appearance by Pete Rose. And once again, Pete Rose gets tombstoned and stretchered out. No surprise. Triple H makes his way down to the ring. Actually, he comes through the crowd. And it's better than this match was better than I thought it would be. It's actually some brawling for the most part, with some pretty nice bumps in there. The psychology for the match was good too. Kane wins by disqualification when Chyna nails Kane right between the hoo-ha regions, right in his balls. And in what seemed to be a DX reunion at the end when Chyna and Triple H reunite. Alright. Now we get the women's title match. Sable versus Tori. Not Tori Wilson, but Tori. 2 R's. 1 I. Loud pop for Sable. Obviously. This is where this is pretty not really that good of a match. This is where Nicole Bass debuts, where she was like the equivalent to Chyna, except she was a little more busty and she had a little more muscles on her. But Sable wins after the Sable Bomb on Tori, and looks like Sable got herself a new bodyguard. Whoop-de-doo. Now we got the European title match. X-Pac going up against Shane McMahon. It actually wasn't too bad. This match actually wasn't that bad. Shane McMahon is always entertaining. I don't care what you say. Yeah, it's not really like I guess it's a love hate type of thing. But I like Shane McMahon, and X-Pac, as loony as he is in real life, was a very talented wrestler. Yeah, X-Pac is very good. But Shane wins when Triple H comes down to the ring, says he's going to help X-Pac, but then turns his back on his best friend. One of the most shocking moments, to say the very least, back then. Triple H turning his back on DX. DX pretty much dissolving at this point. Triple H and Chyna joining the corporation. Whoa, that was pretty huge back in the day. Now, we get the Hell in a Cell match, which, in my opinion, is the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time. The Undertaker versus the Big Boss Man. Now, I have this on DVD, and they showed the pre-match promo, pre-match build-up promo, where Undertaker was going after Vince McMahon, burning a teddy bear, and said he wanted control of the company. So after the promo, we don't get an entrance for the Big Boss Man, which is kind of stupid. And yeah, Big Boss Man's just in the cell. Out comes The Undertaker with his Ministry of Darkness theme song, which is awesome. Him and his goatee was awesome. Yeah, this is... But the match itself, oh my god, this is the most boring Hell in a Cell matches I have ever witnessed in my entire life. Despite some scenes of brutality, this... I wouldn't go that... Brutality, mediocrity, I'd say. Despite some scenes of mediocrity that are kind of brutal, the match never fully comes together. A very loud, boring chants. Very loud, boring chant goes throughout the arena, and I don't blame him. And Taker remains undefeated with a tombstone. After the match, I don't know if this is... I haven't seen it on the WWE Network yet. I need to check it out. There's a scene after the match where Edge and Christian, a young Edge and Christian, and Gangrel, who were a part of the Brood, have a noose lowered down, and they pretty much hang the Big Boss Man. So the Big Boss Man is hanging from the cell. I don't really know if this is on WWE Network, but that was pretty shocking to say the very least. My mom actually wanted me to turn it off, but me and my dad and my brother were totally against that, so yeah. So we kind of had to stay for the main event. All right. Now we get to the no disqualification match for the WWF Championship. Stone Cold versus The Rock. Now, because Big Show knocked out Vince and got arrested, and because Mankind was at the hospital, Vince McMahon comes out and makes himself the referee. But much to the dismay of the chairman and to the shock of the audience, the then Commissioner Shawn Michaels comes out and tells Vince McMahon that he forgot to read the rule book and that a proper referee will be doing it. And also that the entire corporation was barred from ringside. Oh boy. So, we get a mixed reaction from The Rock. 50-50 definitely. But Austin obviously comes out to a loud pop because it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, with surprisingly a few haters in the audience. But it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. How can you boo this guy? How can you boo that guy? But wrestling-wise, it won't appear to be as the greatest match, WrestleMania main event of all time. But brawling-wise, it's one of the most exciting you'll ever see, for sure. Personally, I think this is their best match. This is their best match. The one at 19 was then, and then 17 was my least favorite match. I'll say that. My least favorite match with The Rock and Austin was WrestleMania 17. I'm going to get a lot of shit for that one, but I don't care. These two go... But anyway, back to 15. These two go all out and give a memorable show for the fans. Some bumps here from these two were quite crazy. I mean, Austin taking a backdrop off of the set onto his knee. Austin giving the elbows to The Rock through the announce table, and fighting through the millions and millions of The Rock's fans. And The Rock's hilarious antics, along with Austin's, are great. After a rock bottom kick out, and after a stunner kick out, Mick Foley comes back. Stone Cold stuns him, and Austin finally wins the belt once again with the stunner. When Foley counts down the 1, 2, 3, and definitely was the loudest pop of the night for Austin's victory celebration. And after the match, you got to send the fans home with something they're going to remember. And boy, did they. Austin stuns McMahon. Simply put, Austin stuns Vince McMahon once again. So yeah, that's WrestleMania 15 for you. So bottom line, if it wasn't for the main event, this match could have easily been up there with 11 and 9 as one of the worst. It's not really that great. It's not really that bad either. Diehard wrestling fans, myself, should see it for curiosity's sake, but the only truly worth thing that's watching is the main event. Alright, so that's WrestleMania 15. Out of 10, I am going to rate this 3 out of 10. Best match of the night, I'm going to say, is Stone Cold versus The Rock. Worst match of the night is the Brawl for All match with Butterbean and Bart Gunn. Alright, so that is WrestleMania 15. Coming up next, 2016, whatever the heck you want to call it.